Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. You're watching iAllegedly. And got a good one for you today. It's been about a month since I went and saw the ducks, so I thought I'd go down and say hi to the ducks and feed them and enjoy the morning. But there's a ton to cover when it comes to banking still. Bank mess just won't go away. Things are bananas right now, to say the least. So before I get into it, please take a second. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. And today we have a sponsor, Ageless Body, which I will talk about a little bit later. And let's get into it. The banking debacle is not going away anytime soon. No way. Here's a couple things. Lending has become a real problem for banks to lend money. They have tightened up their requirements on releasing money, and it's made it more difficult with rising interest rates. This happened before, guys. Do you smell this? It's cooking in the kitchen again, guys. It's 2006 to 2007 all over again, guys. That's what's happening right before our eyes. Now, for those of you that were not paying attention during that time, or were not in business, or didn't have a need to have any money during this time, what happened was that banks came up with ways not to lend people money. We don't like the age of your business. We don't like what you do. We're not going to be in this type of industry, okay? And I saw that firsthand. I saw a line of credit getting called in. Why would I want to be in this business, is what they said. So it was an absolute disaster when it happened to people like me back then, and it's going to be a disaster for people like other businesses right now. So, Senior Loan Officer Opinion Survey came out, and this is directly from the Fed, and they're saying, yeah, we're getting tighter with lending people money. So the restrictions are getting harder, where the debt ratio requirements, the viability of the company, everything's being scrutinized more and more and more. And you can sit there and say, hey, who cares? I don't borrow money. I don't own a business, Dan. I could care less about this. You need to care about this, because I guarantee you, family members, friends, people you do business with, people you buy things from, clients, people you work for, are dramatically being affected by this right now, because not everybody has cash sitting in a checking account to pay you every week. Just not there. And a lot of these people rely on credit and lines of credit and wait to get paid from their vendors, and then they pay people, pay them on a regular, timely basis, and then when they get access to their credit line, they pay themselves back. Now, when the Silicon Valley Bank went down, there was one person that spoke to me that was a startup that was directly funded by Silicon Valley Bank, and their payroll was shut off during that time. And they are 5 pay periods behind right now. They've gotten some money, but they're 5 pay periods behind on getting paid. And don't say the name, don't say the industry, because they're going to know who we are. But the point is that once this happens with a company, how do you get caught up on this? You don't get caught up on this. So, Senior Loan Officer Survey tells us that the banks are in real trouble, and that the bank lending is in real trouble, and the access to money is in real trouble. Okay? Let's talk about our sponsor, Ageless Body. For over 2,000 years, Tumeric has been used for a natural remedy for inflammation. Well, there's some serious advances to using Tumeric that people really don't talk about. It helps with your mood. It helps with your gut health. It helps with your mental health as far as relaxation. Plus, it can help with the most important thing, which is inflammation, which is what most disease is caused by. If you order Ageless Body today, you can get 61% off the regular price. But think about this. When I was in the medical business, there were thousands of studies on the advances of turmeric. Take a look at this today, because they use a turmeric, and they use curcumin, which is a developed product from curcumin, which is 4,500% more absorptive than regular curcumin. And this turmeric is absolutely great, but as an iAllegedly customer, they've increase the discount to 61% off. Use Age with Dan to get the discount. Look at it today, but check out agewithdan.com. Guys, I use it. It's great. It's been a great product from the good team at BioTrust, but check out agewithdan.com to get Ageless Body. Now, there's a man that you may or may not have heard of, but if you've been around for a few decades, there was a term that was used called stay alive to 95. When the recession of 1990 hit, they were telling people you need to stay open, you need to keep your business open, and there was so much commercial real estate that New York City had a real problem. They had a glut of commercial real estate. So Ran Eliasef, who runs Northwind Group, coined the phrase stay alive to 95. And it was great because if you could stay open until 1995, you would be in good shape, you know, fiscally and economically, and the banks would come back around, and he was 100% right. Well, one thing that just happened was he owns a hedge fund, and they've given bridge financing for a construction project on Greenwich Street in New York. And you can say, who cares, Dan? What's the point of this? The point of this is that the construction project on Greenwich Street couldn't get conventional financing. This is finished, guys. You're going to see this happen on a daily basis. You're going to see hedge funds and different individuals lend people money just like they did in 2006 and 2007. I saw this. I saw, hey, you do a lot of credit card bills. Would you like to get an advance on your credit card purchases? And then we'll take the money out of future sales. Sure, why not? Okay? Did that multiple times. I've seen multiple people do it. PayPal still does it right now if you use PayPal on a regular basis. But $313 million was funded to complete this construction project. Personally, I think it's insane because there's a reason why these people lost funding. There's always a reason why they lose funding. Oh, Dan, it's a problem with the bank. You just mentioned it yourself. Things are tight right now. Things are a mess right now, guys. Things are absolutely a mess. And nobody wants to look at that. But you have to look at the way you're paid. You have to look at the business that you're in and make sure you're going to get paid from your vendors, the people that owe you money, and make sure that your vendors, that you have a good relationship and good communication with them. So don't rely on one person for anything right now. Just don't. Do yourself that favor. Be skeptical. Be leery of no matter how good this company is, and they love us, Dan. They're never going to turn us down for business. Always have options, guys, right now. And the worst thing that happens is you don't need these people in the future, and everything works out. When you look at the last video, and I've had so many people email me and write me about the banks and how broken they are, and the problem with industries like trucking. Guys, trucking is upside down right now. For them to sit down and say, hey, if we don't have a full-blown turnaround by Memorial Day, it's done, guys. Well, it's a few weeks away, guys. It's a few weeks away. We're going to see construction projects cease to complete their jobs. That's going to happen. You're going to see vendors not get paid. You're going to see stage payments not get made. That's what's going to happen next. But when you see the lending tighten up, this is the kiss of death for everything right now. And, you have to have access to capital. Warren Buffett has always said, when you need money, it's like oxygen for a drowning man. It is. You're so desperate for it, and you'll do anything to get it. And that's what we're seeing right now. That construction project for the $313 million, they can sit there and call me all day long and say it's the greatest thing ever. It's what we wanted. It is what you wanted. You're going to get the project completed. But to go to a lender like that is not conventional. It's not a traditional bank. They don't have traditional terms. They're paying more for this money than they would from anybody else. And that's what people need to understand. So I had multiple friends call me yesterday and say, hey, should I be pulling my money out of the account? I'm really freaked out with everything you're talking about. This is so upsetting. This is so disturbing right now that there's another list of 126 more banks that are on the precipice of failing. The precipice of failing. Okay, that's teetering on the edge, guys. It's nuts. Absolutely nuts. Grandma Yellen, Janet Yellen, our Treasury Secretary, says over the weekend, hey, we may have to invoke the 14th Amendment. Now, here's one thing that I truly miss, okay? And when she said this, I immediately grabbed my phone, thinking I would call my late girlfriend, who's no longer around, who was the law professor, who could spit out the 14th Amendment like it was nothing, and just would know everything about everything when it came to every amendment, and, you know, a lot of things when it came to the law. So I had to look it up myself this time. But Janet Yellen, this is a disaster, guys, with these people running our economy and talking about how, hey, we've got to waive the debt ceiling right now. You know, think about this. Debt ceiling was raised since 1944 104 times. No. We all have had friends that have gone out of business, bankrupt, lost a marriage, had things collapse around them, usually because of money. And you're going to see more and more business have this happen to them. And the one thing that I work on with people, with a tight group, is we're constantly talking about money and talking about our future, and you know, being in your late 50s and thinking that Social Security is never going to be there for me. And I've never felt that. I've never felt that I was going to have something to rely on, that my mother got to take advantage of my father, and I just don't think it's going to be there for us. I really don't. I just don't see it at all. And so many of my peers think the same way, which is tragic and sad. But, you know, the feds go out today, and in all the news shows this morning, before I came out to shoot this video, it's talking to Mabel. Mabel, what's going to happen if you don't get your money? I don't have family. If I don't get my Social Security check, I'm doomed. That is the most disgusting thing ever. Not that she's not going to get her money, that you would bring Mabel out. Okay? That's horrible that they would play this game right now and talk about this. This is ridiculous that they cannot balance a budget, and you're not allowed to discuss this by any means. Oh, no. Which side are you on? You clearly don't want people to have this money. No. Look at everything. Tremendous wealth was made during the Great Depression. Okay? It really was. And I have looked at ways to make money that if the world collapses around us and real estate, you know, falls apart and everything falls apart, there's ways to make money. Now, it's not just buy gold. It's not just look at things like that. It's to look at different things that can make you money during a downturn. If you have an ongoing business that's selling things right now, look at the people that are buying from them and maximize that. Work on your existing customer base and pull from your existing customer base. If 20% of your business doesn't come from your existing customers, there's something very wrong with that. Drake Ney, the real estate wholesaler, that just is a rebel. That I love the guy because he's just like, why have an agent? Why have a real estate agent? He wrote a book and sold almost 5,000 copies of that book right now for $12 a piece. Do the math on that, okay? What do you know about it? Okay? People, hey, I bought the book. This book's great, man. Okay? My point is, what do you know about that people will pay for? Look at it, guys. Look into this. This is not going to be good right now. Oh, plus the new shirt. Look, guys, it's bananas. Things are bananas right now. Oh. I don't think I wear this one too much, you know, but I like it. Okay? Very fitting when things are completely upside down like they are right now. So, share your thoughts, guys. What have we learned so far? The fact that the senior lenders issued a report, and the report is below, talking about how lending requirements are going to get tighter and banks are having problems. Banks are scrutinizing people more. You know, Warren Buffett over the weekend had his shareholder meeting, and one thing he mentioned was, I'm not worried about the future because Greg really knows asset allocation. He knows this. People are like, who's Greg? Who's Greg? Greg Abel is the man that's going to take over when Warren Buffett steps down or, passes away. Okay? So Greg's going to do this, but what tough shoes to fill. I don't care how sharp this guy is. I mean, no matter what this guy does, for for the rest of his life. If he succeeds or if he fails, he's going to say, Warren didn't do it this way. Warren did it this way. Warren would be proud. It's never going to be Greg Abel doing it on his own, which is kind of sad. So share your thoughts so far on this stuff, guys. But fascinating stuff right now, because the banks right now, they are being held together with Scotch tape, to say the least, okay? And it is absolutely, completely tragic. Look at this. Just protect yourself. Have multiple banks. You have to have a bank to pay your bills. Don't be stupid. Don't go out and get 80 grand out of your bank account and stick it under your mattress and then have your house burned down, okay? Ask the economic ninja, as a firefighter, if he's ever seen people lose mounds of cash in their house during a house fire, okay? You have to have it protected, but you need to have something outside the financial institution if something goes south. And it's going to go south, okay? So let me know what you guys think about all this stuff so far. A few more things in the news that are pretty interesting. Think about this. Year-over-year deposits at JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, and Bank of America have dropped $465 billion year over year this week. Wow, that is shocking, guys. People, everybody keeps talking about money rushing to JP Morgan. Well, where's it going if it's leaving that fast? So money is leaving these banks, guys. It's just leaving hand over fist. Great study about how home prices are starting to fall around the country. And yes, some places are falling faster than others. And some places like Tampa have an abundance of houses for sale right now. We are seeing this happen. But what you're also seeing is rent go up substantially right now around the country. And I found a great chart about where rent is going up higher than other places right now. Now, Susan sent me a great picture of her homeowner's insurance that went up 46% in a year. Furious, absolutely furious, and sent the image where it went from the $800 range to the $1,200 range. She hasn't had a claim, and it's absolutely outrageous. And it makes you want to cancel it, but you can't. So you have to have homeowners insurance. You have to have it for the bank. You have to have it because even if you've never had a claim, I'm telling you how karma and how luck works out. And it is insane because something bad will happen that will have nothing to do with you. Someone will trip and fall. Something will happen. I'll give you a perfect example. My late girlfriend passed away on Christmas Eve, and I'm dealing with her estate right now. And some idiot last week, or idiots, came out and vandalized the car and stole the catalytic converter off the Prius that was sitting out in front. Isn't that nice? Okay. Now, call the insurance company and say, hey, this happened. Well, can we talk to the insured? Oh, I'm the guy making the payment right now as we deal with her estate. And I'm the executor and all that fun stuff. And needless to say, we have to deal with the police and having them come out. And hey, we don't want to come out. We've had so many of these today. Can you come to the police station and file the report? So when you had to go down to the police station, they were very nice. Don't get me wrong. Everything was nice, but there's an abundance of these. Well, how many? Do you get a few of these a week? I get like 6 a day right now. Okay? So, Susan, I'm telling you, something's going to happen. Now, this isn't, the homeowner's claim with the car, clearly, but what happens when the idiot neighbor lets his son drive and backs into your house and drives into it, who's uninsured? What happens? You got to have, homeowner's insurance. You have to. But this is criminal. And also, we're working on getting discounts and things like that in the future so that you guys can save some money on things like this. We're trying to put together a network for this stuff. Another example is I had a date where I was talking to this woman about her health insurance. I just don't need it. I never get sick. Why would I need my health insurance? Oh, okay. Well, let me explain to you about my late girlfriend and how when she had her cancer recurrence in May of 2015, we went to renew the policy in November of 2015, and the insurance man said, hey, for kicks, Lise, let's see what they've paid for your cancer treatment so far. So between the end of May, the last week of May, and the November 15th of that year of 2015. So we don't know when the cutoff was. It was $955,000. I will never forget that number on an 85-inch TV screen in front of me, but no one has that kind of money. I don't care how wealthy you are, I don't care what you do for a living, you need to have health insurance, you need to have insurance. These people are a den of thieves. They are ripping us off, they are stealing from us every chance they get. There is nothing fair about these people. All you can do is try to get a better deal out there. That's all you can do. And you can work on service and you can complain and things like that, but that's all you can do. That's it. But you have to have it. So, and you're foolish not to have it, because if you have any assets and you get sued for something like this, you know, you'll lose everything. Your dog bites somebody. To give you an idea, in California, it is just a matter of how much of a check do you get written for when a dog bites you. Just that simple. You know, one of the other things I wanted to talk about was, remember the lawsuit with Subway, how they were talking about how the tuna was fake, and the woman sued saying that it was a concoction of all these different meats. Well, she wants to drop the lawsuit right now, and because she's pregnant with her third child, very sick, and wants to just have the case quietly dismissed, without prejudice, so she can refile it later. And Subway's lawyers are saying, no way, Jose. She needs to be sanctioned for bringing this thing forward, and this has been a cause of ridicule for us, and we've had nothing but a huge expense with this, and she's not getting a financial windfall, and she doesn't get to just put this off and close it and come back for another day and have another bite at the apple. So they're saying, end it now, and they want legal fees, her to pay the sanctions on that. So, so interesting. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out, guys. So share your thoughts on this stuff so far. Have insurance, guys. I'm going to finish this video with a few stories. First thing is, repossessions for cars are happening at an alarming rate, but they're increasing for cars under $5,000. People that have bad credit, that are buying cars with hundreds of thousands of miles on them, that desperately need transportation, are not making their payments, and those cars are being repoed, and more people can't afford new cars. There's a ton of stories about that. Charlie Javis is a woman that sold a company named Frank to JP Morgan for $175 million. And this was supposed to be the Amazon of student loans and different access to apply for colleges and things like that. And they paid her a ton of money. But what was determined was that she kind of faked the number of customers that she had, and they figured it out. And with that, JP Morgan sued and demanded money back and stopped making payments and things like this. Well, this just happened this week, where the court determined, based on her contract or sale contract to JP Morgan, they have to pay her legal fees while they're suing her right now. So they're paying for her lawyers right now. Is that crazy? That's business for you guys. But so JP Morgan's paying her high-end lawyers right now. That is crazy. You are seeing more and more people at food banks and food lines. It is tragic. You're seeing, Seattle's got a problem where there are, more people that are hungry than the food banks can support right now. It's absolutely awful. The final story was sent by Dr. Marvin, and this is unbelievable. A couple weeks ago, I did a story from a postal carrier's wife, and she wrote me talking about how bad it was and how her husband's, his quality of life at work as a postal worker, it used to be a great job, and it's gone downhill, and now they're demanding, basically extra days in a week with no extra pay, longer routes, longer hours, things like that. Now, Dr. Marvin sends me this story that postal workers are fed up because they're getting robbed left and right. They're being the victims of robberies from Maine to California. So everywhere, people are just robbing postal workers. Isn't that horrific? I mean, it's bad enough you may get bit by a dog or deal with some unruly person, but now you've got to worry about getting robbed. again, what does this world come into? So if you guys are postal workers out there and you've experienced any violence or anything insane like that, or your employment contract sucks, share it with us, because we're always curious about that stuff. Because, oh, I don't mail anything, Dan, anymore. Sure you do. Everybody does. Okay? So please don't forget to hit the like button. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Join the email list, because within a day, we're going to have the announcement for Christmas in May, and all the details will be announced first in the email before it's going to be announced on the channel. Okay? So join the email list. The link is below. Always support our sponsors when we have them. Onward and upward, guys. I will see you guys very soon. You want to send me a story? hello@iallegedly.com. Thank you for being here, and I will see you guys very soon.